Hey everybody, I'm Dan, the lead pastor here at the church. Just want to give you a quick update on the strategic planning weekend with the Unstuck Group a couple weekends ago. First thing I'll do is share a chart with you. It's a chart that if you've been around for the last couple of weeks, you probably recognize. It's the process overview that the Unstuck Group uses to do strategic planning with churches. And so we'll kind of get used to seeing this over time, and it was a great process for us. And again, I'm so incredibly grateful that we took the time and went through the process. The first phase of the planning is to assess, to gain some perspective on where you are as a church and how you got there and kind of where you want to go and all of that kind of stuff. It was some difficult conversations, but it was a great process for us. After the assess phase, we moved into the planning phase. We kind of jumped into the planning phase around another chart, and I'll throw this chart up here for you and you'll be able to see it, but it is called a life cycle analysis, and this chart just describes the life cycle of a church or a ministry or really kind of any organization or really kind of any endeavor. But you'll see 4 quadrants there. One is accelerating. That's kind of the startup phase. Everything's exciting, things are taking off, and everything looks good. And then over time, an organization moves into a booming where things are going really, really well. They've got some momentum, they've got some energy, and things are going along. And then next thing that happens is you experience a little bit of a plateau. And then after the plateau, you begin to experience some decelerating. And then after some decelerating, you begin to experience what's called tanking. Every organization goes through these life cycles. In fact, for churches, this life cycle is so predictable that some of the experts have been able to put time frames to it. This happens after this many years, and then after this many years, this begins to happen. And after this many years, this begins to happen. So basically, this is inevitable for every organization or every church or every ministry, unless along the way, especially kind of in that booming area, some key strategic decisions are made to change the trajectory from a decelerating pattern to a continue to accelerate or booming pattern. So we kind of went through that, and we kind of identified where we as a church are, how we as a church got into the different life cycle that we are, and where we're headed if we don't make some strategic decisions to change the course. So anyway, after the life cycle analysis chart, we then moved into another chart, which was called the Fountain of Youth chart. And that chart really was kind of in a couple of different phases. We began to list or brainstorm ideas that might reverse the life cycle stage that churches go through. And I'll throw this chart up for you, and you'll be able to see this chart here. But we went through this sensing column over here on the left, and through the sensing column, we generated a bunch of different ideas of things that we'd like to see happen in the life cycle of the church. Some things that we sense might help us move from where we are to where God desires us to be. And then each member of the core team was given a marker, and they were allowed to put 3 dots on the chart in the seizing category. And basically that dot represented one of the ideas from the sensing column to where we thought maybe that idea might generate some momentum or kind of reverse the life cycle trend that all churches go through. And so we each took a marker and we put 3 dots, and we kind of tabulated those dots up, and we wrote off to the side basically the opportunities in the seizing category that we thought might present themselves as good opportunities for us. And so then after that, we took those ideas and we transferred them over to another document, another chart. And this chart was an investment risk, opportunity for life change kind of thing. And we took each of those ideas and we put them into the quadrants that you see on this chart that I'm showing you now. And so we put them into the different quadrants, and we said, out of those quadrants, which of these ideas makes the most sense for us to begin to pursue? And so then we took those ideas and we began to say, out of the ones that make the most sense for us to begin to pursue, kind of where do we go from here? So that was kind of just a real quick, broad overview of the planning process. The planning stage, there's a lot more to it, and we'll continue to communicate and update a lot more along the way. But I just want to keep giving you these bite-sized portions of an update so that you get a feel for the process of the work that was involved. And again, I'm so grateful that we did it. I'm so grateful for the core team that was involved in the process and for them giving of their time. And I'm so grateful for you as a church being willing to invest the resources resources into the process to help us invite people into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ.